Okay. Oh my. Anyway. I don't even know if this is working, people. Like, seriously. I can't tell. Nothing looks like it's working on this camera. Oh, I guess it is. Anyway, these pears are from the other tree. I have some for, here we go. I have some for, these ones here I'm going to put in a planter pot and see if we can grow some pear trees. Okay? This is from the other tree in the field, the one that's being neglected. So I have a bag, half a bag already full, that I'm going to just cut up tonight and make pear syrup with it, so that when I can those that sweet plum sauce, I'm going to can that at the same time. And these here, like I said, are falling down as I'm picking them up. I did twice as much last night, and I guess I'm going to have to do those tonight, because that's what's falling off the tree every day. Hold on. And then this is what I'm going to use for these oh, I can only think this is working. I'm going to make those grape leaf rolls, right? And I'm going to use this in with the rice, so you'll see. Because I'm freezing them, right, people? I'm going to use up the old rice, the brown and the white. And I'm going to make two different kinds. I'm going to make one for mushroom soup or coconut milk baking, or one with tomato. So hold on. Okay, so I'm going to end up doing this probably 2 or 3 more times. Probably 2 more. I'm going to try and do this 2 more times, because my deep freeze downstairs has got room in it, right? And so there's 1 bag of that old rice. So I'm going to do big pot. You can see I've got 5 cups of white rice in there, and then I'm going to combine the two and mix match and do whatever, right?
Yeah, and I'm helping.
And you're helping. Okay, so back to my little workspace here. That's ground pork. That's Angus beef. I bought that, oh, quite a while ago, people. Here's that rice. That's the white rice. Here's the brown rice. I'm going to make 2 different kinds. I'm going to make one with beef and one with pork for today. That's what I'm going to do for today. And then after that, I'm going to do another batch, probably without meat, right? And you're going to see what I'm going to do here. So, hold on. Okay, people. Anyway, now I'm mad. Like, seriously. I'm trying to do something here. Like, you know, I'm preparing food for the winter time so that, you know, we have something as a family, right? You know, Uncle John in spirit, right? You know, he didn't stick around all these years to have the family starve, people, okay? He knew what I was doing. He told me to go out and do it. So now that I've done it, and I'm going to use it, and that's what I'm doing here. But I don't know. I have, like, temperamental freaking kids that are, like, having nervous breakdowns of their own, you know. They come upstairs and they want to grab my dishes, and I tell them, stop taking my freaking dishes downstairs. You got your own bloody dishes. Do your own fucking dishes. Leave my dishes alone. You know, I'm busy, right? You know, and having freaking tantrums and throwing stuff around. Like, what the fuck, right? So I'm doing this mad. Like, why? Why am I was going to make individual, after I did these in these little tray things, like the little casserole dishes I'm going to show you. I have like some old-timer containers from Ziploc that they don't make them anymore, back from like 1997 or something, or 98, you know, when I used to make TV dinners for the kids at home, right? And I saved those containers, people. I've been saving them since 1997 or 94 or whenever the hell I bought them, because you can't find them anymore, right? And they're really good and I like them. And I'm thinking, okay, well, go dig them out. Go dig them out. You know, do what you want to do. And then, you know, make a few for TV dinners kind of like thing, right? That they can just pop into a pan and warm it up for themselves as an individual serving, right? You know, just comfort food. And what the hell? I get shit on. Like, I'm tired of being fucking shit on, man. Okay, so you can see what I've done here. I put some little sprigs of celery that I have growing out in the yard. It was only like 5 or 6 little sprigs, right? You can see it's right there with the leaves. I put a little bit of that thyme in there and a little bit of oregano. Then I don't only have dry basil, right? So put some dry basil in there. There's garlic in there. A little bit of seasoning salt. I'm getting it ready. Now I'm going to put a can of tomatoes, diced tomatoes in there. I'm going to mix that around. Bring it to a boil again. This is from the garden. I'm just using what I have, right? Grateful that I have something to use to make for the freezer. Okay, because this is for the winter time. It's like, you'll see what I'm doing. So I'm cutting these into little pieces. It's like a celery, only it's not a celery. I'm not putting onion in this one. I'm going to put onion in the pork. As I'm doing that, I'm taking some of the browner rice, mixing it in there, letting it cool, taking some of the white rice, mixing it up. You can mixing between the two of them. You can see that, right? But letting it cool in between, right? So it can be a little more ricey. And then once that's done, I'm going to just move this around, put underneath, you can see, and I'm going to stew this for a while. I'm going to give it some pepper, right? I'm going to taste it, let it cook for a bit, right? And then after that, I'm going to, this meat comes apart very easy. It's almost like a Salisbury steak of sorts. So I'm going to break it into pieces. And then I'm going to try and save some of this juice. I'm not going to juice it down all the way. I'm not going to simmer it down all the way. Right? I have a lid for this, so I'm putting a lid on it, right? Anyway, I'm going to let it cook for another 20 minutes or whatever it is. Half an hour. Simmer. Just so that the meat gets a little more permeated with the juices. Right? Like I said, add some pepper. Taste it. Right? And then in the last 5 minutes of cooking, I'm going to cut those up, and then I'm going to put them in there, stir it around, and then I'm going to put it in there, and then by that time I should be able to, I need a pot for the leaves, because I have to blanch the leaves, I think, for about 5 or 15 minutes. I can't remember, so we'll be back. Okay, so now I got the grape leaves. They're right here. There's about 15 there in a row. Right? I don't know if this is the right size. 4 to 5 inches. That's maybe a little bigger than 4 to 5 inches. Anyway, that's the size I'm going to be using. And because they're a little larger, they recommend that you blanch it for a few minutes in about 4 cups of water to 1 cup of salt. So anyway, I put some salt in there and some water. Right? So it's probably a little more water than salt, but that's fine with me. So you blanch it for a couple of minutes, and then you put it in cold water, and then that's what you're going to use for your mixture, whatever the mixture will be. So it's like 10 o'clock at night. I've been doing like black walnuts like every night. So needless to say, I'm getting kind of like, I've got a headache. The glaucoma in my eyes, even though I'm using the eye drops, I can feel it, people. It's off the roof. It's off the roof. You know, my teeth are bothering me. Like, this is just, anyway, we'll be back. Okay, so those are it. I've never used grape leaves before. I think I picked them too big. I think they need to be another couple of inches smaller. I blanched them, and then I bit into one, and it was quite tough. Now, mind you, you're supposed to pick them in the early spring or early summer, not towards the end of summer, but these were not like extremely large leaves. But besides that point, that's okay, because what's going to end up happening is I'm just going to bake them with a tomato sauce of some kind, and I'll just, like with a cabbage roll, you just put the water in with the tomato sauce or whatever you're going to do, bake it, and then add more water, and then bake it again. So that's probably what I'll do with these, to soften up the leaf, right? Because it's kind of chewy. But besides that point, that's okay. They're going in the freezer now anyway. Okay, I can't really move around here very much. Anyway, Andre and I just got back from the tree. They're dropping as we're picking them up, people. You can see that bag is full. Right? It's almost full. And if I was to go back, there would be another 10 more. And this tree is still packed with walnuts. Obviously, the Old English produces more fruit, which in my series of books will be the female. Well, the black walnut doesn't produce as much, even though it's a bigger tree, right? But I think they cross-pollinate with each other, male, female, right? Hold on. Okay, August 2nd, 2016. So there's the walnuts, some of the peels that I just peeled from that bag that Andre and I got this morning. And I'm mostly done washing them now. So what I'm doing is I'm taking those ones which are fresh. I know they don't look fresh, people, but they're fresh. So rich in color. And I'm putting them back into this pot, which I've already slivered off the main layer of the things that Andre and I boiled yesterday. And I'm going to reboil it. And then I'm going to strain it. And then all this stuff, the pulp, I will be dehydrating it. And then my beautiful daughter here is going to go get me some rubbing alcohol. And then we're going to preserve the ink. Because what this is this is going to be ink for writing and art and that type of thing for Andre and whatnot. And then the other batch of rinds that are outside in another pot, because I'm probably going to do another 3 more batches of these walnuts, which is kind of killing me. Yeah. Well, but it's okay though. I got a plan for them. So anyway, all these little fruit flies, people, when you got a whole lot of food in the house, fruit and walnuts and walnut rind and just a whole bunch of stuff, right? You know, you're going to get them. And I don't spray Raid in the house, you know, because Andre's nasal passage and whatnot, and I don't like Raid going on my stuff, right? Unless I cover everything up with a sheet or something, I'm not going to go and do that. So they're just little pests right now, right? You know, they're just fruit flies. I think they only live for a couple of days, right? So besides that point. So anyway, we'll be back. Hold on. Okay, I just want to point this out. This is why you want air. Oh, this cameraman. This is why you want air going through your nuts. Do you see that, people? I'm afraid to move. Can you see? There's growing mold on some of them. Right? Because it was at the bottom of the tray. So there's that one. And then it was at the bottom of the tray. So all I have to do is just rinse those ones off. Do you see that? There, you can see that. So I'll just scrub these ones a little more. And it's just better, people, to keep them in an airflow. Right? A cool airflow. Because otherwise, if you gump them up into a bag, I really would think this is what's going to happen. You know, they say put it in an onion bag. Okay, well, we know this camera kicks out, right? Anyway, I caught it in time because it's only been off for maybe a day and a half, 2 days at most. Because I don't run it the whole time. I try and let them to have some air, just air time. Wasn't that many. It was just this one little corner in here. But once it starts, people, it will just infest the whole lot if you're not careful. So this is why I recommend putting them on some kind of a, well, tray, right, with an airflow. Or if you're going to use a screen, they recommend putting a little fan underneath the screens to have that airflow push up through the nuts to prevent this, because this is what walnuts are prone to. That's just the way it is, right? It's just the type of food product, right? You can see it there, right? Anyway, Keep that in mind if you ever come across walnuts and decide to do something like this. Okay, so you can see there's what, 6, 7 of them? 7 of them, right? So I just ran them under some water, gave them a quick brush. You have to remember, people, there's no preservatives on these things either. It's all washed by hand, right? So there's a little bit of rind on it, still left over because you can't get each and every groove, right? And again, no preservatives of any kind. So, you just have to be aware, right, that a walnut it just has its own growth factor in terms of a fungi, right? It's not like anything bad. It's just the way it is. So you just have to make sure you air dry them properly. That's why I recommend to do it this way versus putting them into a bag. And then, because the ones in the middle will sweat and they will mold. And if they mold too much on the outside, they're going to mold on the inside. Now, the chances of those ones molding on the inside are very slim because the shell is made to protect the nut. That's what it's made for. So as long as no water has really gotten into the shell because the shell is cracked, it should be okay, right? Providing that it has a chance to dry properly. If it's not okay, when you open it up, you're going to notice it and you just won't eat it, right? So, it's like anything in life. It's not, everything is 100% perfect, right? And in terms of all these little fruit flies and moths flying around, people, this is like, I sit right here. That's how far this is. And like, it smells like sweet walnut, right? And I got walnuts over there, and I got walnuts over there, and I got walnuts over there, and I've got food over there and more food, and I'm bringing in pears tomorrow after I clean up a little bit, and I'm going to go do some more of those grape leaf rolls. I'm going to attempt to do it slightly different tomorrow. I haven't uploaded that one yet. I'll probably put it with this one. My first attempt to do it, I think I used the leaves too big, right? So I'm going to go tomorrow and pick smaller leaves and make a tray of that and throw it in the freezer as I'm using up rice, and and it's like I don't have cabbage, so I have grape leaves, so I'm going to try that. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, people. Again, if you're going to do this, consider it a blessing. Really, it's a lot of hard work. You look at the walnut. If you haven't done it before, you don't really know what to expect. And it can get pretty grueling. If you've done it once before, like I have, obviously you gain skill. You start to understand the politics around the walnut, right? And you pace yourself through it. It's just walnut patience, that's all. But it sure is a blessing. Okay, people, this is actually August 3rd. It's not, I'm sorry, September 3rd, not the 4th of September. It's the 3rd of September. So anyway, I am going to try to attempt to do these little grape leaf things again. This time, Andre, please. This time I picked smaller leaves, much smaller. That's about 3 inches wide. That one's about 4. Pushing on 5, not even that. Anyway, they're half the size of what I used last time. I took a bite into the leaf last time, and even though I blanched it, it was still very tough. So I guess this is why they say this size. It rolls pretty nice. I don't know about this size, but the other size rolls pretty nice. So anyway, this is what I'm going to do. I'm using some pork that I had in the freezer. I'm going to half an onion at least. I've got some shredded carrots. I've got the rice there. And then I'm going to fry it all up, whatever. And then I'm going to put some coconut milk in it. A little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to roll them up. I'm going to put them into that. And then they're going to go in the freezer. And then see what's left over. And if there's anything left over, like in terms of like the meat mixture with the rice, then I'll do it again tomorrow. But for now, I'm just preparing for winter, people. Seriously, I'm just preparing for winter. I don't even know, like, don't be surprised if, never mind. So anyway, I'm going to put some fennel seeds in there. Can you see that? It's from the yard. Right? Stir it around. Cook it. Okay, so you can either blanch these leaves for a couple of minutes. If they're bigger, I'd recommend more than a couple of minutes. Maybe boil them for 5. Or when they're little like this, I guess you can blanch them quickly. Or I've read that you can soak them in hot water for 15 minutes. Now this is boiled water. These are very young leaves. So I'm just going to soak them for 15 minutes. I put a can of coconut milk in there. I fried up the pork with the onions. I added a bit more fennel seed, fresh from the garden. You can see. I already cooked that up with the shredded carrots. Salt and pepper, that's it. And so I'm going to let these soak. And I'll rinse them off. And then I'm going to start rolling them up. And what I'm doing is I'm getting them ready for the freezer. Okay, I know it's not frozen pizza pockets and, you know, and those little fish sticks and, you know, and just all that prepackaged, buy it in the grocery store and throw it in the oven and stuff your face kind of food, right? So this is what happens after you soak it. I forgot to mention you're supposed to put some salt in the water. What I read was four cups of water to 1 cup salt, right? But of course I didn't do that. I'm not going to waste a cup of salt over this, right? So I just put maybe about 2 tablespoons in, not even that, right? And so now I'm going to roll them up. The thing is here, people, Uncle John would tell me to just keep at it, keep doing what I'm doing, because I'm telling you, I haven't gone grocery shopping probably for about 4 months. Okay, that's the situation at hand here. So with somebody with no money to go to the grocery store and buy anything, you know, I'm making food for the winter. That what I have available, like those onions, $1 an onion at the corner store. That's my grocery shopping, people. I spent $3 on onions at the corner store, right? I buy eggs at the corner store, and I buy half and half cream at the corner store. And if they have other little things on sale, I'll buy. Outside of that, I don't buy anything, people. I'm serious. I don't buy anything. So Uncle John would say, make sure there's food in the house for the winter. Obviously, I have food storage, but I have to, you know, I have to top it off with the food I have now. So that's what I'm going to do, regardless of the, you know, what the bank is doing and the Duncan clan is doing and that type of thing. Because in spirit, Uncle John would be saying, just keep doing, don't worry. You know, I don't personally think he's alive anymore, people. Like I said already, I'm going to start treating it like he's died, because that's pretty much what these people have brought him to. They brought him to a dead state, right? So, you know, if he's dead, I'm going to have to take care of the end of the life plan, right? You know, we have to get on to that end of the life plan. There's some things that need to be settled, and whether the Duncan clan likes it or not, you know, I'm sorry, things can't be in limbo for 20 fucking years while they're running around, you know, in their fancy RUVs and living in their little monster homes up by the lake there with their boats, and, you know, they can do all that, but they're gonna, at some point, gonna have to just deal with us, Uncle John's immediate family. Okay, so that went pretty fast. It's like going on 11:30 at night here. I'm gonna have to go back outside in the dark and go get some more, because I don't think I'm going to have enough of these leaves. The thing about grape leaf is it's very high in, I think, if I remember correctly, vitamin A and vitamin K. Extremely high in vitamin A. Right? So as you can see, that's what I've done so far. So what I'm doing is I just took the water and I put it in a pot to reheat it, because it's got the salt in there. Maybe I'll take another, you know, little bit of tablespoon or something and put some salt in there. I wanted to show you what black walnut does after a while, after you've been working with it for a while. Can you see my skin peeling there, people? Hold on. Can you see? And there it is again. It would make a good facial. for women that want to get rid of wrinkles, because it takes off the surface of your skin if you have it on you for a long enough period, right? Andre and I don't know if I showed you, but I got another big bucket today. Oh, I'm telling you, these walnuts are getting on my nerves. But the thing is, I want over 100 walnuts, so Andre and I can count 100 walnuts, right? And this is where I had a thorn, right? You can see. It's like turned into a little callus or something. I don't know, because I'm cutting, right, all the time with a knife. And then here I had an injury here too. So you can see what it does, right? It's just the skin peeling away from it. But in the meantime, those look pretty nice. So what I'm going to do after, I'm going to go outside, I'm going to find some more. I'm going to soak these ones, right? 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. Flip them around, rinse them off, and then roll them up. And I don't know, maybe, I don't know if I should do it right to the top. Probably do it right to the top, right? You get your freezer space, right? And then, because this one's a metal one, it can actually pretty much go into the oven frozen versus using, you know, the glass kind, right? Those ones you have to let unthaw for a bit before you can throw them into a hot oven. And these ones, because they've got the coconut milk in with the rice, right? The sauce will be coconut milk poured in, baked, or you could use like a mushroom soup if you wanted to, or you combine mushroom soup and the coconut milk, mix it up, bake it like that. So this is what these ones are for. Hold on. Okay, you have to go through a lot of grape leaves, right? This is my third time I've been out to the outside already, 2 times. I have to go get some more. So I've got those ones, and then I've got another little batch. I'm picking grape leaves at freaking midnight. So you soak them, right? Get them a little soft. These ones I think I'm actually going to like. See, this is what Andre and I found today. Do you see all that, people? That thing is huge. That's like 2 bags full. And we're bringing home some acorns. There's an acorn, you know, a little acorn tree, right? And we're going to put them in a jar and save them for the squirrels, right? And give them to the squirrels in the winter. He wants to feed the squirrels. So I don't know. I technically I should do half of those tonight. I can't do them all, because if I do them all, it takes up a day. By the time you take the husk off, and then you have to scrub them, and you know, I mean, even if I was to do half of that, probably take me till 4 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know. These not going to take me much longer. These ones are almost done, right? This is going pretty fast. It's, you know, it's a little tedious, but it's fast. So I'm just going to finish that layer, and then I'm going to do one more layer, and then those go in the freezer. And you know, the grape leaves are free. I have lots and lots of rice. It needs to be used up anyway. So what if I'm not using it for cats or giving it away? I'm eating it myself, right? And the next batch, I won't use meat. I'll just use maybe shredded carrots with, maybe I'll do shredded carrots with coconut milk and rice. And then grape leaves. And that one will be that one, right? So if I can do maybe 2 or 3 more of those, that would be great. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so what I'm finding here is when you're soaking these, you have to move them around so that you can see the white part. It's not white, it's just the leaf hasn't saturated with the water yet. When you don't see these little dots and they go away, that means the leaf is ready to fold. In my opinion, anyway. Right? Because then it's softer. Right? It's deceiving. On this side of the leaf, you can see. You don't see that. But because they're stacked, right? There's about 15, 17. See? That one there. See? It needs to soak in the water. So you need the same color through the whole thing. On both sides, not just on one side. So you have to open them up and kind of let them see here. This one hasn't even gotten into the middle of that one. Right? Otherwise, it's a tough leaf. It's a pretty hardy little leaf, right? But these ones are younger. You don't want to overcook it, I would think, because you're going to bake it in the oven, right? Okay, people. So it's the end of this video. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not doing walnuts. As a matter of fact, I gotta can some pears tomorrow. I gotta do at least 7 jars. Because the pears are still sitting downstairs, right? So anyway, I ended up using all that rice. So that worked out really well. I'm pretty impressed with that. My next batch is going to be a vegetarian one, right? These ones have meat. And my advice would be, I only done this 2 times with grape leaf, right? I don't remember doing, I tried to do something, I think I tried to do something last year, but I know I used Swiss chard leaves and I did this. But I don't know, I don't remember. I remember freezing some grape leaves thinking I was going to do it, but I don't think I actually did it. That's why this time I'm actually making the meal, then freezing the meal, right? Because then I know I did it, right? Apparently you can can these things in a brine solution with lemon, and a lot of salt. So if you want to do this for yourself, you can do it. You can buy it as well, or you can can it yourself. I'm not going to that extreme. I'm just going to try and make about another 2 more, preferably 3. That would make five meals for me, right? At some point throughout the winter. The only other thing I want to say about this is it took about 75 leaves, because they're not very big, people, right? This is the size you want, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Oops, sorry. Believe it or not, this size is very doable in terms of rolling up something compared to a cabbage leaf. Just because of the design of the leaf, right? The way it is, you can do it, and its flexibility after you blanch it. So I would recommend doing all 75 leaves for a size this, for a container just like this little roasting pan, right? For that size, about 75 leaves, 25 per, there's 3 layers. Blanch them all at one time, so you have 1, 2, 3 stacks, right? You do it in like batches, 15 at a time. This one obviously I didn't. Anyway, I don't need these ones. What I'll probably do is put them in the fridge, and then do this again tomorrow. Oh, I don't know if this camera's working anymore. Do this again tomorrow at some point after I do the canning, right? With the, because there's only so much time, right?